Tomorrow morning your alarm will ring, and your day will already belong to someone else. You will check the time. You may check your phone before your feet touch the floor. But the real answer to what your ancestors did all day is far stranger than a life without clocks. What kind of day existed before schedules owned every hour? Your ancestors did not spend every waking moment chasing food. Their days held hunger, danger, and hard physical work, but also conversation, craft, play, rest, and long periods of waiting. Morning began with light, temperature, children, and the needs of the camp. Someone revived the fire, fetched water, repaired a tool, or checked tracks left before dawn. What would your morning feel like if no clock told you when to begin? Gathering food required intelligence that the word gathering hides. You needed to recognize useful plants, remember where they grew, know when they became edible, and avoid dangerous lookalikes. Children learned by following older people, copying movements, asking questions, and playing with small tools. The landscape became a living library where forgetting the wrong detail could be fatal. How much of that library could you read today? Hunting was usually patience interrupted by brief action. A hunter might follow faint tracks for hours and return with nothing. Because success was unpredictable, sharing became essential. The person who failed today might provide meat tomorrow, turning cooperation into protection against bad luck. Could sharing have mattered more than individual strength? In the 1960s, anthropologist Richard Lee measured food acquisition time among Jew/Hoansi communities in the Kalahari. His early figures suggested that adults spent roughly 15 to 20 hours a week obtaining food. Marshall Sahlins used findings like these to call hunter-gatherers the original affluent society, meaning that limited material wants could often be met without endless labor. Later researchers noted that cooking, childcare, tool repair, and food processing raised the real workload. Was ancient life easy, or was its work simply woven into everything else? Camp maintenance filled many ordinary hours. Stone edges dulled, wooden shafts cracked, clothing tore, and shelters sagged. Food had to be cut, cooked, dried, pounded, soaked, or carried. Nothing came from a store, so knowledge lived in hands and memory, and small repairs prevented dangerous failures. How much of your world could you rebuild if every shop disappeared? Children shape the entire social system because human childhood lasts unusually long. Older siblings, grandparents, relatives, and other camp members helped watch, teach, carry, and feed them. Anthropologist Kristen Hawkes observed Hadza grandmothers in Tanzania, digging difficult tubers and sharing them with grandchildren. Her research helped shape the grandmother hypothesis, the idea that older women made long human lives valuable by helping descendants survive. What if one of humanity's greatest survival tools was an older person who knew exactly where to dig? Then came the activity that leaves almost no archaeological evidence. People talked, joked, argued, flirted, complained, taught, sang, danced, and told stories. Anthropologist Polly Wiessner found that Jew/Hoansi daytime talk focused more on practical matters, while firelight conversations shifted towards stories, distant people, social rules, and spiritual ideas. Museums preserve stone better than laughter, making the ancient world appear quieter than it was. What disappears from history when conversation leaves no fossil? There was no universal ancient schedule. Deserts, forests, coasts, and grasslands created different routines, while seasons changed travel, food, work, and celebration. Some days were easy, some were brutal, and some plans failed before noon. Modern hunter-gatherers are not frozen copies of prehistoric people, but their lives reveal how flexible human routines can be. Which single timetable could possibly represent all of human prehistory? The strongest contrast is not that your ancestors did less. Their work often had a clear beginning, a visible result, and a definite end. Water was carried, the tool was repaired, the meal was shared, and the fire was restored. Modern tasks can remain invisible and permanently open inside the phone beside your bed. When does your work end if the system never declares it finished? Ancient life was not better. Infection, violence, hunger, exposure, and infant death carried terrible costs. The lesson is to notice what your mind still expects: movement with purpose, useful skill, shared care, familiar people, and problems that can actually be completed. Your ancient brain still searches for those things inside a world of endless alerts. Tomorrow morning, your alarm will ring. But which part of the coming day will truly belong to you?
Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe.